Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Adventures of the Windswift. We are in the midst of a titanic takeover of power, I think. Anyway, Dice of Destiny is going to tell us who is going to give us a recap from last week. It's a virtual Dice of Destiny, and that takes us to Tobias. Yorick, what happened last week on the Windswift?
Well, you see, we were... Okay. We attacked the Stockstoiva, the ship of Archon Kuphet, who had definitely turned out to be a bad guy. So we attacked the Stockstoiva during the cover of night, a surprise attack. We kicked ass, we took some numbers, and Con died. That's pretty much what happened. We've taken the ship, but unfortunately Con got murdered by a golem construct thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's about where we are. The fight ended with Kuphet dying.
You are under arrest. Smash.
Yeah. You're under arrest. No. Smash.
It pretty much was that, yes. And that pretty much was that extra special length video too. So yes, we pick our pieces up, as it were, with the lot of you on the ship. I believe you were flying away or circling, I believe.
No, I was circling above to see what they are actually doing.
That's right.
And as the boy Kuphet goes down, kind of taking a look how this happens. And if I remember correctly, the remainder of the troops were either already had given up, as one of the mages gave up towards me, or
Correct.
is right now in the process of being finished or / giving up.
That is correct. Once the golem went overboard and Kuphet dropped, the rest of the crew just surrendered.
Okay. So kind of taking a look around to see what's going on. If I remember correctly, Pon's now lifeless body is he was put on one of the whales, and he is in care of one of the Murlocs.
Merfolk, yep.
Oh, I certainly hope not.
I do like Murloc as a class, perhaps. But yes.
All right. So with that kind of them finishing up the rest of the assailants, Atra would go into start to kind of dip lower and to land next to the merfolk and kind of take a look at the body that now lies before him broken. And
Very broken.
take a quizzical look at one of the merfolks if they're going to do anything about it, because I was actually not.
The merfolk simply look at you with those big eyelidless eyes of theirs, and they look at Con and they sort of shake their head.
Kind of looking above, because you said this was a fairly sizable ship, right? So the ship would tower over the kind of
absolutely. Yeah.
Kind of to see if one of the other commodores is kind of what they are doing right now, if they are kind of looking to come down, if they are kind of looking over to see what I'm doing, or if they are preoccupied still with overtaking.
I think you hear Adrasai going sort of vaguely in the background going, "Did you see that? I shoved it in the water! I took out the golem! Jared, did you see me do that?"
So that's what Adrasai is doing on the deck with your giant magical hand, which is almost dissolving.
The hand is sort of going like this, kind of like that, just sort of in the air, just sort of, hey!
Jorik, what are you doing?
Jorik is still in full combat mode, so he's looking around and seeing if there's anyone else who needs slicing and dicing.
Various crew members dropping weapons, dropping to the deck, surrendering.
I don't remember if I was here for the hold person spell that was cast on Saket, but I should be able to see into Kuphet's where he came out from, right?
He didn't manage to hold me. I killed him.
Oh, all right, okay. So if there's no one, I'm just gonna look around and basically relax and ask, okay, so how is everyone? Everyone all right? Because I don't know Khan's dead.
No, everyone is not all right. Not good.
Well,
here.
what's
So wait,
happening?
I'm gonna chug a healing potion. So, all right, is everyone all right? Glug, glug, glug.
It's the bruise starter. Yeah.
Sorry.
Not everybody's all right. I
Got is sick.
I gotta sneeze. Okay.
And she's sick.
No, not everyone's all right. Con's not all right. Con's not really not all right, and I can't bring him back because
Where is he?
he's
What
on
happened?
the whale's back, and I think he's dead.
What? Jorik runs to the railing
Sure.
and looks over the ship.
He's
The hell?
on the whale and Atra standing next to him.
Yeah, looming over him, kind of. I'm taking a look if he actually is dead or if this was just like in the heat of the battle. Because like if you're being bombarded by fireballs, usually like the extended investigation life science sometimes. So, but yeah, I do indeed see that he is no longer breathing or pumping his heart or doing anything else. Okay.
Difficult when your ribs are sandwiched together. Yeah,
Well, on the positive side, he has double the number of ribs now.
that's
It'll be harder to do it next time.
Okay, so yeah, with that kind of knowledge now, I would kind of cuss under my breath, far too soft for everybody aboard the ship itself to hear. Perhaps one of the merfolk on the whale would hear this, and then I would kind of grab his broken body in between my arms, right, like so, and start to fly back to the Windswift with his now. With now this corpse in my arms.
sure thing.
Oh,
I can't bring him back.
I think,
I lost that ability weeks ago.
well,
Yesterday.
Yesterday? I could have. No, that was long ago.
I don't know if anyone could bring him back.
the Oaken might.
Oaken might. Yes, he has.
Well, that's a good
ability.
idea.
It didn't look very good, and I don't really know what to do about it.
Look,
And I'm not sure where Atra's taking him either.
looked like he was heading back to the ship.
Hoping that's the case.
Look, I can fly you two back. I'll stay here and, make sure everything turns out well. All right. You can head back and you can go, contact the Oaken. And...
No offense, other side, but this is still a ship full of bad guys.
Well, we have the barbarians and
How many are left?
Like,
There's
there's
like
what,
5
4 left?
barbarians. The barbarians and there's the people we rescued downstairs.
There's 6.
And there's 6 barbarians left, and Bajora is one of them.
I'll be fine.
Well, here, take some of my healing potions because
I have plenty, really. Just I'm gonna just sort of put them together and I'm gonna cast fly on the 2 of them. I can't do this for 3 people, all right? Just go. I'll be fine. I'll contact you.
Jorik's going to protest. He's going to back away from the touch and say, I'm staying here. All right?
No! Go fix Con. We can't do this without Con.
I can't do anything for Khan. If I could, I would have done it already.
Well,
Yes, well,
okay, I'll go back. You guys fix people up, and then get this ship.
And make sure the Windswift comes here.
all right. All right. I cast fly on you then.
I fly back
You
to
fly
the
after Atrament.
Okay, yeah.
There's a thud from behind you, Jorik and Adressai. Biora is systematically cutting off the heads of everybody on deck.
Well, they did resist.
She is not a happy barbarian at all. And every time she decapitates someone, she shouts a name at the person as she sort of cuts another victim down. She screams out another name, and it's very easy to realize that she is calling out the names of the fallen barbarians that have died in combat.
So she is killing the people who gave up?
Yep.
Okay.
She is.
Oh, okay.
She does not
Also,
look
I'm
like
gonna
a
have to
woman you should want to talk to right now.
No, I think Dorik, I think we should just leave her to it. I think she's doing fine on her own.
Yeah, I don't like it, but I would like to keep my head.
We lost a lot of people today.
Yes. By the way, Guy, I'm gonna have to mulligan my healing potion. I forgot I spent them all on the people downstairs. So
I give you a healing potion because you look rough.
There you are.
I'm a bit stabbed.
Yes.
A little bit.
I give you a healing potion.
All right. What are the two of you going to do? You're going to leave Biora alone, then where are you going to head?
I want to check out Kuphet's body. See what does he have anything on him?
Well, he has that rather ornate, or very ostentatious, I should say, Sajet armor, which you saw in action previously. He has that white cotton kilt that he was wearing, and then these rather soft-looking moccasins that he was wearing at the time. He definitely looks as if he was out for a quiet evening of beauty rather than anything else. Yeah.
Nothing like medical, no weapons, no papers, nothing.
No weapons, no papers as such. He does have this rather ornate ring on his finger, however, which definitely emanates magic. Obviously, the armor emanates magic as well. You see magic permanently now, don't you? Who sees magical items permanently? No, neither of you? Atra does, that's right. Okay.
Of course it does.
Yeah, there is this ring. It's
Well,
not
not permanently, but at will. So, I mean, if I want to, just...
Yeah.
What kind of armor is it? Is it...
You're not entirely sure because it's basically a gold V of, well, that's it. It looks like a band of gold in the V shape that worked. If you recall, there was very briefly in the chaos some energy that seemed to appear around him, but I think that was destroyed very quickly. But other than that, that's it.
Well, Jorik, maybe you should take a look at his quarters and see what you find. And I'll just settle down on the floor and I'll start like drawing sort of lines in the deck, and I'm going to start casting Identify on these two items as a ritual. So it's just going to take a little while.
Absolutely.
There's a slammer of metal as I drop his sword and an amulet next to you. You can do these as well.
All right.
Atra, you arrive at the Windswift.
Yeah, I would do so very hastily. I'm not just like, I mean, obviously this is like some strain on flying because like having like an extra like ballast.
Absolutely.
So I would try to get to the ship as fast as possible. And kind of as I get inside, it was still night, right?
Correct.
I would then land heavily on the deck, and assuming that obviously the rest that we left behind would be at attention and not just like, oh well, that's our job done for today. Let's.
No, they're still on high alert. They've seen signals to attack, but they haven't seen any signals not to attack. So the ship is still sailing towards the Stockstoiver.
Right. I would then land heavily with the broken body in my arms and kind of... who's the first person I see?
Mios. He comes rushing forward and looks at Con and then looks at you in absolute horror.
I would just look at him and give an order to him, which is like, bring me one of the menagerie one of the birds in the belly of the vessel and bring it to his, and I kind of look in between arms. Is it, you said, like, what is it, first aid, like hospital? Infirmary, yeah. Bring it to the infirmary, and then I would kind of hurry down the corridor heading to said infirmary.
He tries to work out what one of the three birds in the cage. He's like,
Mios goes, "This is not the time to be a Malkavian. Come on."
yeah. Anyway, so you rush down to the infirmary. Cpt, you arrive. I mean, you're a couple seconds behind Atra. Where are you heading? Well, hang on. How fast do you fly, Atra? 30, right?
No, 40, so 80 per round if I...
Okay, so you're 20 feet ahead of her. Yeah, all right. So you still got a round to arrive. Yeah, but once you arrive, where are you heading?
Who do I see? Because I'm getting Mios has disappeared.
Badger comes rushing forward from the forward ballista as he sees you landing. What is going on? Commodore.
Right. So the Windswift needs to carry on its path and join the others as fast as we can now. And did Atra arrive with Con?
Yes, but Con did not look very good at all. I mean,
no, Con looked dead, I imagine. So, where did they go?
Below decks. I think I heard Atra saying he was going to the Commodore's infirmary.
Right. I'm going there, and can you tell Captain Ty to make haste?
He does scamper off to go and do that, absolutely. Atra, you get into the infirmary?
Yeah, I put him on one of the, is it beds, I guess?
Yes, there is only one bed, yeah.
Right? And grab a dagger from my belt and just like cut open the remainder of its clothing to kind of take a look at the wounds and stuff.
The wounds are atrocious. Ribs.
I mean, it's probably mostly bludgeoning damage from what he received.
Yes, right? massive bludgeoning damage, which has resulted in reverse piercing damage as his own bones have snapped out of his skin.
All right. Yeah, and I kind of start to prepare him for the ritual.
All right. You start to prepare for the ritual. How long will the ritual take?
10 minutes.
Sure.
That sounds ominous. The ritual.
The ritual. The dagger. Yes. So that's what you start to do. Whilst you're busy doing that, Cpt, you'll arrive at the infirmary to see Atra.
Yeah. So what you would see now is mostly like the clothing that you were wearing. You said robes usually. That's what you wear, Con? Yeah. Being kind of slit up, right, like along the seams, and just like so bare-breasted, they're lying there, and Atra is actually starting to carve symbols into his flesh.
Yeah, so Cat would be a little bit alarmed at that. Whoa, what are you doing?
He is long gone. There is only one way to keep him in his world, and I assume that is what you want?
Well, yes, but I mean, you're kind of damaging the body even more, and I
kind of stand away and just like show the body with like some of the ribs kind of piercing through.
Okay, maybe, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're right.
It's fine anyway.
I'm not a doctor. I'm not a druid. I don't know what you're doing.
Speaking of, there's a knocking at the door. Someone said you were looking for a druid?
Yeah, I guess we are looking for a druid. Can you resurrect?
He looks at Con. No, he's like totally dead. I mean, like, he's not, I mean, no. If you'd brought him to me like 10 minutes earlier, maybe, but this is just too far.
Right. Okay. That's great. Thank you so much for your help today. You were you can go back and carry on smoking your wacky backy now.
Sure. Pleasure. Is that all?
Pretty nonchalant.
Yeah, I guess that is all. Unless you have some magical way of getting hold of someone who can resurrect him. Yeah.
You mean like another druid?
Yeah.
So while this stoner seems fairly fairly chilled right now, I will continue kind of preparing con and waiting for Mios.
Sure. Oh God. Well, Mios arrives shortly afterwards. He's like, I got the I got the druid for you, Mr. Atramentum.
I wanted a bird, not a druid.
I thought you meant a druid when you said one of the 3 birds in the cage. I mean, we have 3 druids.
We have 4 druids. 5 with him.
Yeah.
Now get me one of the animals.
Oh, you want a real bird? Okay.
Quick!
He goes rushing off. You hear his footsteps as his feet are sort of slapping down the wooden staircase. I'll come back to you. Jorik, you went into Kuphet's chambers.
Yes, I am looking for missives, paperwork, stuff like that.
Oddly enough, the door wasn't locked. He did not expect to be attacked so soon. Walking in, there are a few things that immediately grab your attention. One is that the room is very, very ostentatiously decorated. Lots of gold everywhere, and it reminds you've kind of walked into Saket's daydream type of thing. It's very Saket.
Yeah, hashtag Sagetti.
Yeah, hashtag Sagetti. Right. So that's the first thing that grabs you. The second thing that immediately draws your attention is that there is a large section of the room. Think of the room as a T shape, with the bulk of the room being in the length of the T, whereas the crossbar on the left-hand side, there is a very large circular construct, for lack of a better word, and it's very easy to identify. This is a teleportation circle
on the ship. Okay, then
on the ship, correct. So yes, as you watch it, you realize that the glyphs that have been installed or inscribed into the wood, it's obviously multiple rings of different types of wood. And as the ship gently rocks from side to side, drifting slightly on the current, you see the glyphs ever so slightly realigning, just changing back and forth as the ship sort of moves and pitches from side to side. So you suspect that's how they managed to keep a connection, if you like, to this particular gate or portal, as it were. The other side of the T section, there is a fairly impressive array of, looks like weaponry. There is definitely a long spear. There's a 2-handed greatsword. There is a suit of very shiny gold scale mail. So yeah, all arrayed and laid out as a collector might, rather than anything else. And it's immediately apparent that these items are all definitely dragon relics. Designed,
of course they are,
collected for whatever purpose, yeah. But that is definitely there. Then there's the rest of the room. There's a large double bed. There's a large table in the center of the room with maps and diagrams and charts, as one might expect, arrayed all over it, and tons of paperwork. What are you doing?
I am going to position myself at the table so I can see the teleportation circle, and then I'm gonna start rifling through the papers, looking for anything that might indicate where Section 13 is, who is giving him orders, who is involved, stuff like that.
Where the teleportation circle leads to.
Yeah, that too.
So there isn't a huge amount of immediately accessible information. Most of it is administrative stuff. There are some notes, however. You find dossiers on yourselves, your files, as it were. There is also several files for some other names that seem to have, I don't know, slipped through the cracks somehow, or just not have sort of popped up.
Basically, people who are still loyal to the order, or loyal to the old order, I suppose.
It seems like it. Yeah, because there's Flunt. His dossier is there, where it's his information. There's another character's name by the name of Dargachol. Then there is someone named Graga and Tativanov there. And then there is Mion, Ballo, and Yir Tantir. Those are the ones that you found down below.
And so those are the ones I found down below. Okay. And there was also a dossier on Flunt, you said?
Correct.
What does it say about Flunt?
It's quite a comprehensive list of things, and the very top page is basically things that he would not like anyone to ever discover. Activities basically involving him using his position to make an absolute fortune. Basically, positioning ships in certain areas, transporting cargo for certain individuals, just absolutely abusing his situation where he was a ship's captain before he became a deacon. So list of contacts, list of how much money he's made, property that he has acquired in the name of the order, which he actually is just profiting directly from. There's several estates. Just a general list of various things. There's a list of individuals who were eliminated, but next to them is written money values. And then next to that is written dragon collector. And then underneath, one spoke about dragons. Sort of a list of fairly arbitrary-looking crimes, which he obviously used as an excuse for why these people were executed in the name of the order.
All right. So, looking at these papers, can I get an indication of if this is Kuphet's papers only, or if this is some sort of collective Section 13 documents, or if this is Kuphet's papers
to be organized in the same way. When you open up your own folders and things, there are some notes in there regarding certain activities, especially early on. Cons folder has got quite a list of things in terms of Avalanche at the Gamspire, where it lists a little village's name and 100 names of villages that were killed, with a note next to it saying possible use, with a question mark next to it. And then there's some talk about the Dahag people and a marriage ceremony. It's very vague kind of notes and things.
I'll continue rifling through it. What I'm specifically looking for is to get an idea of who are basically the inner circle. Who is Kuphet taking orders from? Is he the top guy, the big cahoots dude? Or stuff like that. Try to get an idea of the organization and how they communicate.
Give me an investigate check, if you please.
I did already, 23.
23, all right. So there is there are a couple names that come up from time to time, correspondences, letters, talking about something. There is definitely a construction happening. Kuphet, before he got here, was shipping vast quantities of materials, particular types of marble. The drow were supplying a very unique rock substance, which is known to have electrostatic properties. Very, very expensive. He was transporting that. And like I said, there are a couple of names that keep coming up. One of them Gennady, the gnome that you've met before.
The Ironwood trader, right?
That's right, the Ironwood trader, correct. So that is one of the names that keeps coming up. And then the other name that keeps coming up is this one you haven't heard, and it is Hevent. Hevent wants this, or something signed H, or signed Hevent.
So I get the impression that's someone who's above Kuphet.
Oftentimes they are quite abusive to Kuphet. We need more stone. Now, there's one letter which has been written quite harshly, where basically this Hevent person says, you and that other idiot allowed this to happen, and now we are in major trouble. Find the Windswift and destroy them, because it's your fault, basically. Hevent. Yeah.
So possibly someone who's above, or at least has some form of authority over Kuphet. All right, good. All right, you can go to someone else. I've had my questions, but this is obviously going to take a while for Jorik to rifle through, so you can deal with the others.
Absolutely. Back to the first ritual caster. So, Adrusai, what are you doing?
Yes. I guess I'm doing the ring first. Sure. It takes like 10 minutes each.
Absolutely. The ring is rather remarkable in terms of its properties. It is definitely a ring of protection. So you can write this down. It just gives you basically a +2 to your armor class. That's the basic property of it. It also allows you to read minds. Surface thoughts only, but if you make full contact with the person, you can start to actually probe their minds completely.
I put it on.
Of course you do.
Well, taking that.
What should have done?
Oh, no, absolutely. So that's the ring, and the armor is magical armor. It initiates upon the wearer putting it on, obviously. Definitely Sagetti in origin, and that gives you a +4 to your armor class. No dex penalties, etc.
All right.
However, so the limitation with it is that it only absorbs the first 40 points of damage, and then it is expended until a long rest, basically. Takes time.
Okay. What type of armor does it count as, pure stat-wise?
Leather.
All right, cool. And then there were 2 more things, but I mean, it'll take a while.
Sure. But everyone's doing rituals at the moment, so we might as well just work through it all.
Yeah. Well, it was an amulet and a sword, right?
Where did the amulet come from, Jorik? Remind me.
The idiot that refused to die that I was trying to kill in the corridor.
Yeah, the captain.
Officer.
Oh.
Or whatever it was.
Yes.
He had the extendo sword and that amulet.
Correct. Okay, so the amulet is simply an amulet of life. What it does is it can restore a base of 20 hit points.
That's what he used to heal himself.
Yeah.
Just straight up. How many times are there charges?
It's once per day.
Okay, so it's been used today, I assume.
Correct.
Okay. I just pocket that one, I suppose.
Sure. And the other item was a spear.
Or sword, spear? What was
No,
it?
it was the extendo longsword that he attacked me with.
Correct. Now that one, the longsword simply has the ability to grow one size category on use.
So they get reach, basically?
Yeah,
Or...
basically. Correct.
All right.
Without getting all the extra weight and requiring to be wielded two-handed.
All right, cool. And it doesn't have charges or anything? It just sort of...
At will and choice. So you choose what to do with it.
All right, cool.
Is this sword?
And it's a long sword?
Very deep reference.
Longsword or a two-handed sword. It depends on the wielder.
All right, got it.
Yeah. All right, back to you, Atra. Your ceremony is completed. Mios has returned with a chicken.
Okay.
Is this okay?
I guess. I don't. Like, this is you. Oh, well. Okay, so at this point...
What do you mean this is me? Are you gonna turn me into a chicken?
So I would grab the cage or the chicken which he is holding, and at this point there would be like different markings on the flesh of Khan's body, which like concentric circles and like tear-shaped kind of flourishes or embellishments or whatever you want to call them. And I would get the chicken in my hand, kind of the claws in hand, so the head's down, and I don't know if you remember this, but before I went on board the ship, I had these shadows kind of coagulating around my body. I kind of activated that. That would still be online right now because not so much time has passed at this point. I guess there's like roughly an hour after we started kind of the attack, right? So I would kind of concentrate, and the eyes would kind of light up from these kind of glimmering coals that they usually are to like a bright crimson. And then I would continue to, and the shadows kind of around the body would kind of flow into the chicken and kind of disappear into it as it clearly is in much pain and kind of gets more jittery and trying to get free, but like without, obviously it's just a small bird, so it has not really the opportunity to kind of free itself from the heavy grip. And then I would grab just with my other arm around the neck and just like break its neck to kill it. And I would then speak in a dark tongue, like an invocation, and kind of suck the energy out of the life energy, the soul energy out of this chicken, and with these kind of wisps of shadow, kind of place my hand in the middle of these concentric circles on Khan's chest, and I kind of start to continue with the invocation. And this goes on for a minute, for 2 minutes of kind of continuous, kind of almost singing in this dark guttural kind of language until finally, and this is here my question to you now, Khan, because technically I cannot revive you without you wanting to be revived. So if you don't want to be revived, this obviously will not succeed.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if Khan has an active will at this point, really. To resist or not resist is beyond his capacity, I would argue.
Sure. Then with the final verse, I would then kind of move the hand closer to his face, over his mouth, when his mouth kind of goes up and like the last breath of air of life kind of escapes his lungs. And with that, I would put it into the chicken and kind of set the chicken down next to the lifeless body of Khan. And visibly kind of exhausted and kind of fatigued, kind of go down onto one knee on the ground and kind of lean over to kind of push myself up with a hand and kind of heavily panting.
Just one quick question there, Atra. Did you just put Con into a chicken?
Kind of look over to her, say, "A life for a life."
Mios, it's lovely to see you out of the barrel and everything. Really, it is. But could you not find something better than a chicken?
At this point, the chicken gives a violent start, leaps up, tries to fly away, slams into the nearest wall, collapses onto the ground, runs into another wall, runs around in circles a few times, and then smashes into a corner and stops for a bit, panting.
I mean, it's a chicken.
Who knows if it's any different than usual, really?
I don't know what just happened.
Con's in the chicken. Con is in the chicken. Con, can you
I don't know, how does this work? Am I aware? Or am I just hitching a ride?
This is really up to you. I mean, the one thing that you would do if you were aware is seeing your own dead body right now, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's kind of how
You would be aware then, yeah.
flying off and smashing into things and running around in circles. Bit.
Yeah, I think that you would
I would
You would
think
be
that this
aware
isn't-
as you normally are. It would just be that when you look around, you're very low to the ground.
I'm going to go with that this is incredibly confusing.
Yes.
You do have the brain of a chicken right now, so
and
maybe you're
there's
not
a significant
really able to...
existential crisis underway. Considering the last thing I remember was standing on the deck of the ship, telling Kuphet he was under arrest.
Yes.
And then a massive explosion of pain and the vague thought that, so this is how I die as I flew through the air.
And suddenly...
And now this. So as far as you can tell, you're not sure about the chicken. The chicken seems to be quite crazy, though.
Although, and yes, I think I agree. I mean, I agree with you completely. You have been a raven before. So there
Yes.
might be a certain mitigating circumstance. But anyway, that's entirely up to
And
you.
also, for all practical purposes, there's not a lot I can do as a chicken.
Well, your faculties, once they return, if they return, right? But yeah.
See,
But
this
I
is
sort of look at
You would
Cpt.
still be a 10th level chicken druid, so...
I didn't know you were going to put corn into the bird. Otherwise, well, Mios would have probably still bought a chicken. But
That's what I meant. This is up to you. It's okay.
Thanks,
Yeah,
guy.
Chicken it is.
Mios, can you go and get the bushy-tailed one, please?
wait, I feel like I'm not doing the right thing here.
Well, you know, we all make mistakes in life. It's fine.
It kind of does sound like Commodore Khan, actually.
Yeah, I don't think he's impressed about being a chicken. But if I can just get the bushy-tailed one here, we can...
Wait, who is the bushy-tailed one? Can we please use names now so I don't get confused again like last time?
It's the older druid, the one that looks after the moss-filled room.
Oh,
Aldwin!
Oaken, why didn't you say so? Okay.
Because I never remember that name. I just remember the bushy-tailed one. I mean, come on. When someone tells me that's their name, I'm going to remember it as the bushy-tailed one.
He goes running off. A few moments later, he comes back with Aldwin in tow.
Aldwin, is there any way I think we need to talk to the Oaken and
That would be nice, yes.
yes, and
Talk to people?
Con can't help you because he's in the chicken.
Now, that's a sentence I thought I'd never hear.
You can you are a druid, right?
Yes, I am. Yeah, yes, I am. Mm-hmm.
You can speak to animals?
Yes.
Well, then there's a chicken for you.
You want me to talk to tonight's dinner?
No, it's not tonight's dinner. We're not killing the chicken.
The chicken tries to get even underneath the bed.
Right.
Don't kill the chicken. Just don't. Just talk to the chicken.
All right.
Try and reassure the chicken. If that's possible.
He pulls out a little piece of moss, or you're not entirely sure what it is. He eats it, he mutters a few words, and then he looks down at the chicken. Greetings, O noble fowl of the farm. My name is Bushytail. Might I know your name, O great bird?
Aldrich? Why am I in a chicken?
Oh, I get it now. Yes, you are in the chicken. Quite
What
literally,
happened?
You are in the chicken. I'm not sure. I only just got here myself. Give me a second. He looks back to Atra and to Siget. Why is he in a chicken?
Because he died, and that's what Atra did, and...
At this point, the chicken emerges from under the bed, flaps up onto the top of the bed, and sort of does the two,
Looks at his body.
looking at the body and looking at everyone else.
Say his body was dead, and
Ruffles some feathers, looks around at everyone, hops off the bed. Turns into a tiger.
Feels much better.
That's a slight improvement. I'm impressed you can still do that. I guess he feels a little bit better now.
Can you not just turn into Con?
My theory is that since, strictly speaking, humans and others are not actually beasts, it will take me a little time to figure that one out.
Oh, I completely understand. When I've turned into my natural form and then I have to go back to this one, I also sometimes struggle to remember. So, yes, I understand. But, wait, what do you want me to say to Con? He says, looking back to the two of you. I think he understands what you're saying.
That's great. Can you tell him we'll try... We clearly need to speak to the other druids about this and other things, because what they did to the merfolk was pretty impressive. Anyway, and we might be down just a few. Few of the barbarians are dead, to say the least. And
What? Says Meos from next to you.
not your favorite. Don't worry. There's a good boy.
I say they fought half the proficient, and some of them survived.
Biora is still alive, and we need backup.
Well, it looks like my detour is done, and they kind of look at you said tiger? Kind of look at the tiger and say, welcome back among the living. And kind of, still panting a little bit, would kind of then push myself out of the infirmary.
Do you need to go rest, Atra? I'm guessing that was... Yeah, okay. I'll see you later when you've had a nice long rest.
Can I ask something? Who has the other communication stone right now? Is it still Ty?
Yeah.
I think so. We never really relocated them.
I want to pull it out and try to contact her. Captain?
Yes, Commodore.
Hi.
We are about to pull alongside. You can actually see the Windswift is slowly making her way to pulling up alongside.
Oh, good. Did they bring Con there? What's happening? What's going on?
I believe the Commodore was brought aboard, although they have all retreated below decks. I haven't been informed of any change.
Yes. Okay. We're probably going to need the druids. Help. This is big magic. Going to need it. Could you get one of the druids on board to the stone, or bring to them?
I will go to them straight away. If you
Thank you. I just want to ask one question. Any druid. I assume they're all equivalent.
There is a very nervous voice. Yes, this is the druid.
Hi, you're a druid. Do you good with trees?
Yes.
Yes, okay, this is really urgent, so let's keep this going. Could you reawaken something that has been dead for a while? Like not people, but plant matter.
I guess. What do you want?
Like a mast.
What do you mean a mast?
The mast was once a tree, right?
Sure.
Could you reawaken it into a tree again?
Maybe not on my own, but with all of us, we might. Why?
Because we're going to need some really powerful magic to get Con back. And the best way to do that is to get a tree on the ship.
Wouldn't it be easier to go on land and just find a tree?
We may not have time. Also, we're right next to the Baron's Reach. There's not a lot of big trees around here.
No, there aren't a lot of trees in the Baron's Reach. You're right.
Plus, as far as I'm aware, these kinds of spells are quite time sensitive.
Okay. Which ship? The Windswift is already awoken.
But it doesn't count as a tree, does it, for the purposes of transportation?
No.
No. So do it on the Windswift. What? The Windswift is a tree? We'll take this later. Look, please, just try on the Windswift. I mean, if the rest of the ship is already alive, maybe it would be easier. Just help it remember.
It's living already.
Just but the mast! Make the mast the tree!
It's part of the same ship.
Okay, so it's not possible then?
Not on the Windswift.
Oh, damn it. Fine. Come over on this one. Just make us a tree, please.
Make us a tree.
Make us a tree!
Okay, I can try.
All right, good. Thank you.
We can try, I guess.
By the way, Guy, I would be on my way to Lily.
On your way to Lily? Oh, I like that. Okay. Yeah, so you see movement on the deck as all the druids start to kind of...
I'll go out on deck as well.
Deck. There's a tiger that walks up onto deck as well. Sure.
There's a certain irritability about the flick of its tail.
That is Con. Con? Are you alive again?
I guess I would be following Con at this stage. Like, are you okay? I mean, I can't talk, Tiger. And
is that Con?
Yes, I think it is. But don't ask him to revert to what he was before the Tiger. I'm not sure he's impressed about being a chicken.
A chicken? All right, this is
There's
obviously...
even more of an irritable flick from the tail.
All right. I think I found a way to get some powerful druids here to fix your bite back up, okay?
Its body's pretty fucked, by the way, guys.
Don't worry, this
not
magic...
Bugged. It's fucked.
All right, we'll fix it, okay? We'll get you back in your body as soon as these druids turn this mast into a tree.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
You get where I'm going with this, right, Con? Please tell me someone understands what the hell I'm doing.
I got it.
Thank you.
He's got it.
He's got it.
Jorik,
I found
what
some magic stuff.
What are you doing while this shouting is going on outside?
Well, Jorik's got part of what he's after, but I want to find out where or what, preferably both, the construction is about. If I can't do that, at least get a general location or a list of materials so we can at least figure out what it is. That's what I'm after.
Sorry, can you repeat that? A general location of?
Either where or what the construction is. If I can't get that, a general location and a list of materials so we can figure it out.
All right. Location, there's no reference to it whatsoever. What it is, also, give me an Arcana check.
I'm really good at that, not. I was 16.
Nope, it's beyond you, whatever it is that they're building, why they would need this particularly magnetic stone. Then there's the ironwood, then there's this marble that he's been transporting backwards and forwards. And it's not a complete list either by the looks of things. So you're not sure about that. Then, as to it was where it was, so you have no idea. What it was, you have no idea. And what was the third one?
The third one was materials list, and the fourth one was a general area. If I could glean at least that. As in, is it in the Wraith territories? Is it in the Goblin territories?
No, you definitely get a sense that it's within this area somewhere.
Okay.
Because if you look at the travel times, the travel logs and things, they all seem to point back to this particular spot.
Okay, so it's around here. All right. Then I'll just bring the rest of the papers that concerns this construction to Adrasai. So they'll look at it later. Better at this magical hoogabaloo.
Sure, not a problem.
I do have +5 in Hoogabaloo, actually.
You do.
Are you proficient in that? Yes.
Yes, I'm proficient in Hoogabaloo.
Very good. And that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm just going to head out and see what the heck's going on with the tree and the mast.
Yeah, there is some interesting stuff going on with the tree and the mast. Once they figure out what you are trying to do, they then go, well, why didn't you say so? Okay.
How can I be clearer than turn the mast into a tree? Honestly.
Well, you could have just said what the tree was for.
Well, okay, fine, you're right. I'm a little frazzled right now on account of Con being dead.
Well, he's not. He's a chicken.
I know, on account of Con being a chicken tiger.
Yeah, he kind of is a chicken tiger.
Yes.
A chiger? No.
No. Tree. Focus on the tree, please.
I yawn just enough to let my big fangs show.
Yep, focusing on the tree. Focusing on the tree. Well, we don't need a mast for that.
No?
Don't?
No, totally. Look, and this guy pulls out this rather large clump of soil, and he waves his hands over it and then blows on it. And as he blows on it, this gust of white smoke just seems to boil out of his lungs. And then this very small little shoot bursts out of the soil and starts growing upwards into and unfurling as a small plant.
Are we now climbing into a sky castle? Yes.
Beanstalk.
And he then puts it on the deck. He's like, okay, so you only want to transport like one person, right?
Well,
sure. Or
yeah.
Get the Oaken here, possibly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, talking to the Oaken would be good, because I'm not sure about the whole Con situation, but we do need to talk to the Oaken.
Yes, if you could get them here, because he can move between trees, right?
Yeah, totally.
He is a tree.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, this is going to take us about 3 hours, though.
3 hours?
3 hours?
All right.
If you want us to grow a tree.
No, I wanted you to reawaken the tree, but fine. No, it's fine. 3 hours is okay. Good. It's better than the prospects we had before.
Which would be
Thank you.
quicker. We're awakening. Can you really do that? That's impressive. Okay.
We
So if you
actually can't do that. The tree died like 200 more years. This is very old wood. It's been so treated with resonance.
All right. Just
okay, throw the
thank
tree.
you.
Okay, for the next 3 hours, what are you guys doing?
I was on my way to Lily.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
You arrive at Lily's.
Okay.
Come in, Atra.
Kind of open it. I'm surprised that you know that I was coming.
There is only one person who walks with such confidence and silence down these corridors on this ship, I'm afraid, and with such purpose as well. There have been some great things going on this ship, which I suspect might be your hand, but since I can't read your mind, I don't know what's really going on.
Well, my first question for you would be, did you get in your last word with your former co-worker?
Carla, you mean?
Sure.
Yes. From what I understand, she is, well, she was, I should say. She is no more.
Can I get I want to kind of get her general kind of mood and if she's trying to hide anything from me and so on.
Sure. She doesn't seem to be trying to hide anything from you, at least not on the surface. You can give me an insight check nonetheless.
Sure. 24.
She's definitely being fairly open and honest with you, and she seems not to have enjoyed what she had to do with this Carla individual.
Okay.
Just before she died, I managed to get an impression from her of cliff face. Quite an interesting color of stone from what I could see. It was quite white. And this horrid goblin city sort of growing all over it. And I think that it can only possibly be Pispin. Or, no, not Pispin, Pugglesnuff. Because that's the only one that I know of that's on a coastal city that's got the cliff face next to it. The only way she could have got this impression was if she was there. But I should also tell you, Atra, that she has been talking to dragons. There is no doubt in my mind that she has been speaking with them. But it seems strange. Normally when one connects with another mind, there's quite a strong impression. Very strong memories, the touch, the sound, the smell of them, for example. Hers are purely audio and visual. There's no sense of connection, really. So I'm not entirely sure what that is. It could have been a psychic link, but again, there's no impression of psychic residue either. At least it wasn't any that I could find out. So I'm not sure what to make of that, but she has definitely been communicating directly with dragons at this white cliffed space. She was trying to hide it from me. But yes, she was not as experienced as I was.
Well, you indeed are very old.
I'll take that as a compliment.
While I was getting closer to her to finish her off, she was in a conversation with one of the leaders of their faction. And she talked about something that kind of raised some suspicion in me. Is there a way to train yourself from intrusion of the kinds of you and your fellow median?
There were experiments done within the order. Young trainees were sort of prepared, I suppose you could say. But from what I understood, no one ever completely shielded their mind. There were many that got close to it, but unless you yourself had some kind of psychic powers, it was almost impossible for the layman to be rendered protected. But then again, I only ever heard of these experiments. I never participated in my.
And my next question would be, is there a way for you to protect the sailors on this ship?
Well, I can't protect their minds, but if I knew who or what was trying to attack their minds, I could interfere with that. That's what I was doing with Carla. And
All right.
if I'm interfering, then they can't sort of really extend too much into the minds of others. They're busy protecting their own mind from me.
All right. Well, you won't need to be doing this against Carla in the future anymore, though.
No, I know.
There is one last question. You said she had contact with dragons?
I
As
believe
in
so.
more than one?
There were distinctly, I think, at least 3 that she was in contact with. But again, all of them were vague. That's the only way I can describe it.
Very well. Well, I thank you for the information you gave me earlier and now. I will now let you rest for the night. I don't expect much more confrontation happening during the night, as the enemy ship is quite well under the control of the Commodore and what is left of the barbarians.
I am pleased to hear that. I truly am.
Well, good night.
Saket, what are you doing whilst all these rituals and things are going on?
I kind of sit next to Con for a bit and stroke him until he's calmed down. Give him a scratch behind the ears. And then I'm like, I guess you might be hungry. I would be hungry. I'm always hungry. I think I'm going to go find you some food and myself some food. I could do with a rest as well, but we'll start with the food because that's quite relaxing, and I don't know how to deal with you in tiger form, really. But I'm guessing big chunks of meat would be good.
Hey, Saket.
Yeah?
Sort of clambering over to the Windswift.
Sure.
I've got something for you. Sort of hand her the amulet. It was on Captain down in the hold. It should work sort of like one of the healing potions, about once a day or so.
That's
It should need
awesome.
some recharging, but I think you might need it.
Yeah, I normally need things to stop me from being squishy.
And Con, it's armor, even if it doesn't really look like it. I figure that might help for next time.
I don't know how to put that.
Put a big paw on your shoulder.
Okay, yes, thank you. I'm really glad you're still here. Hopefully we'll get you fixed up and out of this. I mean, it's nice, I'm not gonna lie. The big fluffy thing, I'm into it. But I give him a hug.
And so I try not to flirt too much with
I'm
you.
not flirting with Con.
Yeah, huh?
It'd be weird.
Anyway, never mind.
No, it'd be very, very weird, especially in tiger form. I'm not like I'm into people. You know that, right?
Bipeds.
Bipeds.
All right, Jorik, what are you doing quickly? Oh, if anything,
And not chickens either.
Jorik's going to deliver the documents onto Adrosai and say,
Yeah.
They're trying to build something. Yeah.
Yes.
They're
Ooh,
trying
yes.
to build something, and I need you. I can't figure out what it is. It's
Ooh.
clearly
Can I see?
something magical, and it's kind of your area. If you
All
could
right.
try and figure out what they're trying to make,
Sure.
it's
Saket.
somewhere around here. So
All right.
Give me an Arcana check. Very
Saket,
quick.
why don't you help me?
You
Yes,
have
I
you
like.
have advantage, Adversai.
Yes.
and
if the Saket's
once I've
helping
delivered
me.
the documents, I'm gonna go look upon see to the ones we freed, see how they're doing, who they are, and stuff like that.
You think they're already left?
25.
If they're still there.
The things that Jorik has handed you, this looks like they are building an engine.
Yes, because I've spent some time with the Jockenstocks before they
Correct.
went.
This
Okay.
engine, however, if you are interpreting the values correctly, is about 150 yards or so in floor space.
Mm-hmm.
Growl.
Considering the average engine was only about 2 yards in floor space.
Yes, that would be difficult to get a dragon through. That little
one.
Yes.
50 yards, you could get an army through.
Yes.
That's a bit worrying.
That's really worrying, actually.
A bit?
You know, it's a little concerning.
They could bring dragons through that, couldn't
Yes. I could bring them through 3 abreast, in fact.
they? I think we need to destroy this. No.
Yes. I think that might be a good idea.
This is all giving me a headache. I don't think I've drunk enough water today.
No.
We swam to the ship.
Yeah, why didn't you?
Salt water.
Yeah, that's what everyone loves to drink and go crazy on.
Surely.
It's the new sweet water.
I think we really need to. We need serious backup here.
Yes.
We've got how many barbarians left? I know it includes
6 of them. Look, remember what we talked about with Lily, right?
Which conversation with Lily?
The last one that we talked about Lily.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. Why? I mean, Atra went down and did the thing on the other oracle. Why don't you go have a conversation with him about that? About if he found something or saw something. And I'll go back to the Stockstova and talk to the people we left down in the corridors.
Okay, I guess I could do that, and then I could go to the kitchen afterwards. Yeah, that works.
Yes, I mean, honestly, either order in this point. I'm just really worried about the thought that.
Yes, I know. I'm worried about that too.
Yes.
I'll go find Atra. I don't think he's in
Okay.
the best of moods right now, but I'll go find Atra.
And is he ever in a good mood?
I just don't want him to try and strangle me again. It's, a thing.
No. Hopefully he won't do that.
Great.
5 minutes later.
I'm sorry!
All right, so Kat's going to go and find Atra. Tobias, you said Jorik was going to go and talk to the survivors, which by the sounds of things is where Adversai is also heading.
Yes.
So there is that. It is probably... Yeah, it's probably not. It hasn't taken that much time. Sorry, Khan. I'll get to you one day eventually, probably towards the end of the episode, or next episode, really, basically.
After about 4 hours, there's an annoyed sound from the tiger who reverts back into a chicken. Struts around the deck a few times.
Yeah.
Then turns into a ferret.
Hopefully that doesn't happen because they said 3 hours to make the tree.
Yeah, well,
That's true.
3
They're
hours.
trying to make like a tree and get out of here. Oh, sorry.
Don't-
Hello.
And leave.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Leave.
Yeah. All right. Yes. So, Saket, you find Atra.
I would be in a mess.
Okay.
Which is
Perfect.
Choice.
your arms.
Atra, are you are you able? Can you? Would you mind talking right now? See, you're eating bacon. I love bacon. It's really great, isn't it? I'm just wondering if you had spoken at all to Lily recently, or was there anything you'd like to tell us about your interaction with Carla?
I spoke to Lily and Carla died in my arms. It was very romantic.
That's an interesting interpretation of romantic there. Anyway, so was there anything that Carla did or said that we should know about?
Let me tell you, she said something like...
I'm not exactly sure about the spelling. I think for a moment and say, no, not really. She was in, when I was waiting to strike, she was in an argument with your good friend, the Archon.
I wouldn't call him a good friend either. You have some interesting...
Co-worker?
Okay, yeah, colleague, ex-colleague. Yes.
Definitely ex-colleague now.
Okay, and what did Lily say about everything?
Everything is a vast, encompassing word.
Okay, when you went to see Lily just now, what did she say about Carla?
Nothing really. Only that when she died, she was... Well, there are two things, I guess. One thing is that she probably was in a place called Snugglepuffs? Pugglesnuffs?
Pugglesnuff, yes. Pugglesnuff is a place, yes.
Yes. Supposedly cliffside with a face in it. And the other thing is some tale about her being or having been in contact or not with dragons.
Dragons. Great.
But she could not
Dragons.
completely be sure about that because, I don't know, certain
I don't mean to...
attributes of that interaction being, well, not quite clear.
Okay,
But I don't know why you ask me about this and not her.
Because Adressai is worried about Lily.
Well, she could melt your mind in any second. I guess I see where she is coming from.
Yeah, I hate to be nitpicky about details, but you say dragons.
I mean, that is what you're looking for, right?
Not really. I don't really want... I mean, yes. I mean, I want to destroy all the dragons, yes, but I don't really want... Yeah. So when you say dragons, does that mean she was in contact with one dragon and you're just talking about them in a general sort of sense?
Lily was not in contact with dragons, as to my knowledge. And I can only go as far as she talked to me anyway. So I am not the dragon person on board. I guess this would more be in your purview, yes?
I don't talk to dragons either, but Carla was clearly talking to dragons. Was she talking to one dragon or more dragons?
I didn't take the time to have a nice conversation with her. With people of her caliber, it is usually a good idea to not let them get to a word or even half a word.
I'm going to have to talk to Lily.
Yes.
Okay, well, that was lovely chatting with you.
Was it? I didn't had that feeling it worse.
I was trying to be nice. I don't know.
Right, being nice. I see.
Not very good at it. I'm gonna go get some food myself and some for Con.
Sure. I heard there is a nice broth of chicken on the stove right now.
I don't think that's gonna go down, even in the tiger form, very well.
I thought it was quite amusing once I got here.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen chickens eat dead chickens before because.
Is there anything else?
No, it's fine. You were really, really helpful.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Con is on the deck like this.
All right, the two of you, Jorik and Adressai.
Yes. We're going to go have a look at the
three
survivors.
Yeah.
What's Piora doing right now, by the way?
She has finished executing people and is now sitting on a pile of carcasses and appears to be... You're not entirely sure you want to know what she's doing, but...
Oh, I need to taunt her. I just remembered.
It looks as if she's cutting pieces of skin off of now each of the dead. And once she's cut a piece of skin off, the remaining barbarians take the corpse and chuck it into the ocean.
All right, cool.
I hope
Trophies.
the merfolk eat people, otherwise that's going to be a biohazard.
I'm sure there's been a lot of dead people in this ocean recently. It's not going to make much of a difference, is what I'm saying.
A lot of dead fish.
Yes. Oh, that reminds me of something. I'm going to sort of lean over the edge and sort of call down to the merfolk. I say, excuse me.
Yes?
Hi. Could you, the entangling thing that you do, could you stop doing that on the ship and start doing that on the giant golem that's under the water so it doesn't start rampaging somewhere?
He nods and slowly sinks below the waves.
Thank you. All right.
The two of you find the three survivors currently in Kuphet's offices, busy going through the paperwork and the weaponry and the like. When you walk in, they turn. The Cathar that was with them looks to you, Adressai, and then to you, Jorik. Yes, and then another one steps forward and extends his hand. He looks to be quite emaciated, quite badly wounded, and says, well, once again, thank you for saving us from that awful, awful, awful situation. We can only assume that Kuphet has gone completely mad and has turned against the order.
Not
It's
quite.
not just Kuphet. Most of what is left of the order has turned to the dragons. So
Yeah.
we're doing what we can to clean up.
Right. Well, we wish we had known about Kuphet beforehand. He,
I assume you got lured into a trap.
well, as a matter of fact, yes. Once we got message from our oracle that we should look inside our engines, it was basically tickety-boo from there.
So then you got the call from Kuphet to meet up here?
Yes,
Or-
that's correct. Well, not here, as a matter of fact. It was further out, but yes, nonetheless, close enough. We arrived,
Yes.
next minute we're being arrested, and, well,
Yes.
there were 5 of us originally. There are only 3 that remain. Damn shame. The other 2 were pretty damn good captains, if you ask me.
We've lost a few good men as well.
Right.
Yes.
Well,
But yeah, we got the same message, but I don't even remember why now, but it was something in his message that made us doubt his intentions. And then we were attacked by the Sun Chaser, and that just sealed the deal. So we decided
Yes.
to come here to ambush him, which seemed to have worked out reasonable.
Yes, rather well played, though I'm not entirely sure I'm in agreement with your methods. I can't hardly fault them, since we are now free and Kuphet is no longer a threat.
We've had a long few months. We would just, I think this, if there was some like ultra-violence going on here, I think it's more of a release valve than anything else.
Yes, but at the same time, if we resort to the same methods that the enemy uses, then are we not just the enemy?
No, I don't think that's the case at all.
Speaking of which, does this ship have an engine? It should have, right?
No, it would have a massive engine, yes.
Right. Other side, do you think you would be able to dismantle it?
Sure. Is that what we want to do right now? Because we can't sail.
We are going to want to do that eventually.
Oh, eventually, of course, but we can't sail to Pugglesnuff.
You know how to dismantle engines, you're not a gnome.
No, but it's a long story. I'll tell it to you over dinner sometime.
Well, if you remember the message from your oracle to look inside your engine, we are the original ones who discovered what the engines were about, and our gnomes helped us disable several engines. So we kind of got that down right now.
That would be the short version, yes.
Yes.
So what are your names?
I am Captain Ballo. This is Year Tantir, and that's Mion. He says when he points, Mion is the Cathar.
Do you recognize the names Dagachol, Graga, and Tativanov?
Dagachol was the Archon for the Brunei Kingdom and Brunei territories. So as far
yes, he's the one that was locked up with the king.
I'm not sure of his current whereabouts. What were the other names?
Graga and Tativanov.
Yes, I know both of them. They were part of the vessel Rathambor.
I see.
Captains.
You say were?
Or are. I'm not entirely sure what's become of them. It doesn't seem like anyone's around these days.
All right. I've been rifling through Kuphet's paperwork, trying to figure out who's in charge and whatnot. I found the name Hevent. Is that familiar to you? I've never heard of it.
Doesn't sound very familiar to me at all.
No.
Are they captains?
Whoever Hevent is, they are above Kuphet in the Section 13 order thing. I don't know what they are. I don't even know if it is Section 13. Either way, Kuphet is answering to a Hevent, so we need to find this bastard and chop his head off after asking some very pertinent questions.
I assume we'll find him when we found this engine of theirs.
Yes. So what are your plans right now? We're not going to hold you to anything.
Our plans were to die at the hand of this lunatic Kuphet.
You're welcome to join us. We are still working for what used to be the Order.
Well, in that case, then you'll excuse us. We have some artifacts to destroy.
Sounds good to me.
The scale and the blades.
I noticed Kuphet's little collection in there.
Yes.
We could probably use the help crewing this ship once we get it going again. And if you'd like to help us, fly it over there and murder some people, that would be very nice.
We'll only kill anyone who is directly related to dragons. That is
of course.
We'll remain loyal and true to that mandate.
Well, that is our MO, but I think Bjora, she's a hired mercenary. I think she got slightly upset over losing most of her manpower, so that is not the orders from us, just so you know.
And yet you employ her.
Yes.
Yes.
And then you're responsible for her. But ours is not to question your methods at the current moment in time. You did for us, as I said before. So if you will allow us to get on with what we need to do, if you need any help, simply ask. Mion's a pretty deft hand when it comes to piloting vessels and things. He's pretty good at flying. And your Tantir will plot a course that will make the most of any wind currents that you might come across. So rather attack for us.
I'm sure there'll be plenty of food and things for you here to recover.
Yes, I'm sure there will be. And
yes, I mean, you're welcome aboard the Windswift, but I'm just saying,
Right, you are.
Good to have you along. I shake his hand. Or attempt to.
Yeah, he'll shake your hand back, without a doubt. Again, gratitude for rescuing and that. Jolly good to be free, of course. So, there we go. Yes, not the time now really to question actions and activities. What armor are you wearing, Jorik?
I'm wearing a dragon scale armor.
Well, honestly, I'm not sure anybody here should recognize what that looks like.
Oh. I am
Considering
indeed
overseeing
wearing a
the
white
dragon.
dragon scale armor.
I was thinking you should wear a shirt over that.
Yeah. No one says anything about it.
Well, I'm sure there will be a reckoning.
Well, it is a dead dragon, so...
I'm sure there will be a
Dragon artifact
reckoning.
if I ever saw one, right?
Yeah.
Everybody will pay for whatever they've done during this time appropriately, I'm sure.
Without a doubt. That is our duty, after all.
Right. Great. Good. Jorik, do you use swords?
I know how to, but I generally don't, I say, and show my side blades.
I'm going to go ask if I don't know, maybe Bjora wants this or something.
Well, as you step out, the druids come up to you. It's ready.
It's ready. Good.
Yeah.
Con's probably in the mess hall, eating meat.
Right.
Is there anyone around could ask to go get Con?
No, sure, we'll get him. As he
No,
moves
thank you.
aside, you see the tree that they've grown. It stands about 4.5 foot tall, and has sort of some spindly branches coming off of it with some leaves and things. And the other 3 druids are sort of lying or sitting next to it, looking quite proud of themselves with what they've
It's
managed.
legally a tree.
Yes. Well, it's going to be a sapling kin, but okay, good, fine. could you contact him somehow?
Sure.
Get him to tell him that Con is dead, and we could use his help to make that not so.
We kind of thought Con should probably just come with us.
Sure.
You're going to need his body too, right?
I mean, if you want to put him back in it.
Can we put it in a bag?
What? No.
Did you see it last time?
I'll go get it.
All right.
I can go get Con's mangled body.
Right.
And Jorg is struggling doing this. Con is a stout fellow and Jorg's a scrawny elf.
All right, you put Con in a bag.
Just wrap him in sheets.
In sheets and sort of
Yeah.
carry the body over. One of the druids comes up to you, Con, in your ferret form, I think.
If it's been more than 4 hours, then yes.
Yeah, it's probably been about 4 hours, give or take, all the talking and eating of bacon. And sort of says, "We're ready to take you now to the druid."
I run up his arm and sit on his shoulder.
Okay,
Do you
good.
want any of us to come with you, Con, or do you want to do this? Are you?
We are not welcome on Sanctuary, remember?
Yeah, non-druids are not allowed.
Yes. Well, there's been a lot of special circumstances lately, but fine.
Yeah.
Just
bring Con back in the right body, please.
yes.
Sure thing.
Thank you.
Okay, let's do this. The druid known as Endithar, the dwarf, she sort of takes her little hands, rubs them together, and she says, "Okay, you better be quick. This is not going to hold." And she sort of sticks her hands into the tree and pulls open. Pulls open. It's not really very big. They kind of sling the bag through, but it gets stuck. So they sort of
Oh no!
push and realign stuff in until it
Break it a little more. It'll be fine.
Yeah. And then Quelanti, the very nervous one, is like, okay, I'll be back, and sort of crawls into the tree, then sort of closes shut again. Okay, that's lunch, everybody, says the dwarf as she moves away from
Jork is standing there just covered in Khan's blood, saying, I don't even know how to feel about this. He's dead, but not. I am so conflicted.
I'm going to go clean you up with prestidigitation. Just sort of, no.
Yeah, thank you.
Also, you should, I don't know. We all need to... I don't really feel like resting yet. I don't feel like this is quite over yet.
Do not look forward to those dreams.
No, I've had a lot of weird ones lately.
Indeed.
What?
Con, you arrive.
They sounded oddly specific. What do you
Yes.
Con, you arrive at Sanctuary in ferret form, and you have never seen Sanctuary like this before. It is exceptionally empty. There are a few people that are gathered in very small groups and the like, but mostly it's, well, part of it looks like it's burnt down, but is being regrown by the druids quite frantically that are still here in the sanctuary. Then in the middle, where there's normally sort of just trees and things, the trees have all been reshaped into, looks like tables or benches and things, where there's just heaps of parchment paper, there's maps, there's diagrams, and then there's a very large book, which looks similar to the books that Adrasai has. And then the Oaken himself is busy standing, leafing through pages of the book, as well as then looking at points on a very large map of the whole of Braxia. The very nervous druid explains the situation to his usual assistant, who looks you up and down as the little ferret you are, and then escorts you over to the druid, the Oaken. The Oaken hears your story, looks down at you, and starts to laugh. And he kind of claps his hands together and he leans quite far down to get to your level. Well, Con O'Dana, this is quite a surprise. I give you the world and you become a ferret. Or chicken, I believe. Well, we can't have that now, can we? Very well. It is a waste of time, but I will begin the process of reverting you back. The young druid holds up. Oh, I've got his pieces. And the Oaken waves his hand. We're not needing any of his pieces. He's still alive. Well, for now, anyway. He looks you up and down.
Not a lot of me.
I'm not familiar with the magic that was used, but shake your head if it's definitely you inside there. Right. Well, in that case then, just remember, don't go towards the light. And with that, he closes his fist. And you can give me a dexterity saving throw with disadvantage.
Okay.
Six. Several large vines just grow out of the ground and impale themselves directly into the ferret. Ow! Right through the chest, through the heart, through the neck. Blood sprays everywhere.
And that's vicious.
You take 103 damage, so that kills you outright. Ow! As you die once again.
Once again.
Yes.
Twice in as many episodes.
Going towards the light. Don't go towards the light, you idiot! Don't go towards the light. So, yes. An hour later, you wake up naked and on one of the bench table things with the Oaken standing nearby. He's sweating quite profusely as he has finished casting a spell. But you are in your own body.
Well, that's a relief.
I don't know. I think I preferred the ferret.
Yes, well, it was fun.
Now, we have a great many things to talk about, Conor.
Yes.
How goes your campaign against your Archons?
Well, things have got a bit confused towards the end when I died, but as much as I could pick up, we have defeated Kuphet and are in the process of trying to discern from his records just exactly what our next step will be. I believe Adrasai and Saket have been working on that.
You mean to tell me you're not yet done with all of your dragon business?
Well, it's kind of like those Drakenmorian nesting dolls. Every time you open one, there's another one inside.
Well, that won't be too much of a problem much longer. It was genius, your plan to get us this book, he says as he thumps his hand down on the large book. I must admit, I was skeptical at first, but once I started reading it, this book, Conor Dana, is without doubt the most powerful artifact I have ever encountered.
Yeah.
Ba, 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 ba.
With its teachings, we were able to create the most violent storm I have ever seen in all of my years as Oaken. There is nothing that could possibly compare to what this did.
Yes,
It allowed us to control and conquer the Merfolk Kingdom, as well as the Empire of Athane Basul. They now both answer to us. There is peace, Conor Dana.
Right, good.
I have brought peace and order to my new empire. Jesus!
Yes, that book is one of a set.
Well,
but I'm sure I'm not telling you things that you don't have some knowledge of.
I suspect there are more. If there are, they're incredibly powerful. In the right mind, incredibly dangerous as well.
Yes. It is best that they are never brought together, I believe. But again, this is an area which is my colleagues' domain primarily. I trust that they have got a handle on the significance of this.
Your colleague is aware of the other books?
Yeah. We're aware of them. We don't know where they all are.
Just 3 of them. Or 4.
That is unfortunate.
Well, is it? I mean, that storm was very impressive, but I'm surprised you didn't use it on Drakenmore.
When last were you in Drakenmore, Conor Dana?
Is there anything left? Or did you kill everyone?
I have not yet enacted what I have planned for Drakenmore. But the storm was just the beginning. With it, we were able to make the Mer King realize that our way was the best way, and at the same time, the Emperor of Athene Vasul saw the error of his ways as well. With that kind of power, Drakenmore is no longer even a consideration.
What next, Oaken?
I would think it obvious.
Well, perhaps, but this whole conquest and domination is a bit new to our way of doing things.
It is a natural way, Conodena. Nature is all about survival of the fittest. We are the fittest.
I see.
Besides, the merfolk are still free to operate as they so choose, provided that they don't violate certain parameters that we will define in due course, as are the elves.
Well, certainly we can compel the Graith to be more passive, I imagine.
I hadn't thought about the Graith, as a matter of fact.
Well,
Yes,
that's what
Your
I
Honor.
meant by what next. I mean, you've pacified
Our
you've
intention was...
subjugated Yvain Vasul and the Merfolk, which has ceased their war, which was good.
Yes. I had intended on ceasing the war between the dwarves and the drow next.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Well, I mean, far be it for me to second guess your operational plans. I've just hope we're not going to end up looking like tyrants by the end of this, with significant unnecessary collateral damage.
We haven't killed anything that will not reproduce and repopulate over time.
That's it. I'm out. Bye. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. Nope.
Good. Fantastic. Well, what happened here, by the way? It looks like you were attacked.
There was minor resistance to our requirements for complete surrender on behalf of the elves.
No doubt. No doubt. We think, at least I believe, we're closing in on the source of the dragon conspiracy.
Yes.
Hopefully we will put an end to it
Good.
once and for all. I would want to call upon your aid, but I fear that perhaps the power is too indiscriminate for our needs. We need more precision at this juncture. But you may hear from me before it's all over again. I will try not to get turned into a chicken.
Geography is not discriminate. It is geography. If you require our aid, the power that this book grants us, we can level mountains, or raise them if necessary.
Yeah. When I impressed upon you the importance of the book not being used when it was in the possession of the merfolk, I was surprised to find that you would be so willing to engage with such a dangerous artifact. Surely we didn't need to?
There are a few things that you impressed upon me, Conodena. One of them was that the merfolk should not use the book. They did not. The fools didn't even know what they had. But once I had it, another conversation you and I had also came to mind. We needed a more swift response to our engagements with the nations of Braxia. I took it that we were given this book as a result of your negotiations with the merfolk, and that allowed us to have access to it. It seemed foolish not to utilize it then, once I realized what it was. And it has brought about peace in the space of less than a week. Something that could not be achieved with all of the battles that both of those sides fought, and needlessly lost lives too, I might add. Yes,
Right.
less than what was lost during the storm, but nonetheless, they would have continued until they had obliterated each other.
Do you have any intelligence around Puggle Snuff?
It is a goblin city just to the south of the Great Forests, if I recall correctly. Other than that,
We will have some assets in place.
of course we do. You wish to get there quickly?
Maybe. It's just useful to know, perhaps, that they might be made aware to expect contact from us at some point.
As you wish.
I can see you're very busy pacifying the world.
Is that not what our collective vision was, Connor Danner?
I wanted everyone to just stop fighting each other because they were made aware of the true threat, which was that they were being set against each other by the dragon conspirators.
And I have informed both the Emperor of the Thane Vessel and the Mer-King of your actions against the dragons. They now unanimously agree that they should cease their fighting.
Jolly good. Well, it seems that things are turning out more or less like we intended.
It should be known, Connor Danner, you seem slightly skeptical of my actions. Once you are done with this dragon nonsense, I want you to lead the Council of Druids that oversees Braxia.
I see.
Join me and together, etc., etc. God, this dude.
I am, of course, honored by your confidence in my abilities, but I would have to think about that very carefully.
Absolutely. I would expect nothing less from you. That's why I want you to lead the council. I'm too old and, well, it is time for me to take my place somewhere else in this world. That, and I did bring you back from the form of a chicken. But you may go now, Connor Danner. You have to save the world.
Indeed. Thank you. Hopefully we will not meet under such circumstances again.
I would hope not. He says, and he turns back to the book and starts paging through it.
Yeah, okay. So I make my way back. Collect the transportation druid I came here with.
Yes. Good to see you back in one piece, as it were.
Yes.
Do you want this? He says, holding up a bag of your old
that is a very weird thing to experience right now, I have to say. I don't know. Just put it in the fertilizer heap, I guess.
You want me to leave it here? Wouldn't that be kind of rude? To
Not
leave
if you-
yourself? I mean...
I rather suspect this is me, and that is a empty husk. I could probably go better
kind of...
fertilize the sanctuary's plants at this point. You can bury it if you want. I mean, this is new territory for me. I'm not sure how to feel about my own corpse at this point. It's a corpse, right?
Yes.
Let it push up daisies.
Okay. He kind of awkwardly starts walking away from the bag, which he's just left in the middle of the sanctuary grounds.
Aye, no one can get any help these days, honestly.
You said you just leave it and let it push up daisies.
Well, do we not have a garden here? Like, is there not a compost heap? Chuck it on there.
He kind of
Someone comes out to their vegetable garden in the morning and there's a dead corpse.
What? All right.
My hands sticking on the ground.
Yeah, you
Well,
return.
I suppose you better bring it with us. We'll just do something with it. God.
You return to the Windswift. Everybody's had the capacity to have a short rest at the very least, if that means anything for you guys. Not that it's particularly urgent, because you can have a long rest now as well, without doubt. But Con crawls through the tree on the other side, looking quite whole again.
Ta-da!
And
Give him a hug. I give him a tight hug, and then I go, "You should get some clothes."
Yes.
Oh,
Who knew there was all that underneath the robes? I mean,
yes, right. Shit, sorry. Which ship are we on?
The
Stockstoiva.
Stockstoiva, yeah.
Hey.
But there is a gangplank between them. They're
Okay.
Yeah. It's easy enough to move
Yeah.
across. It's not a problem.
I sort of confidently stride off towards the infirmary. I'll be back with some clothes.
Okay, good. Glad to see you back alive.
in one piece too, and no chicken, no tiger, no ferret. That's cool.
Okay, so that happened.
Lie down now.
Right. So, what's next? I mean, I guess we just start up the ship and drive off, fly off.
Into
I
the
think we
sunset.
should. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Go towards
Well,
the light.
firstly, we need to, patch up our Romanian barbarians.
Oh, yes. I mean, obviously, but I mean, long term, big picture.
Well, I would say Section 13 is next, but did Con get us any backup? I mean, we still need a lot of backup, guys. I mean,
Let's go
Meeting time.
Yes, let's go gather people, and we'll get Ty and Shora, and we'll get to the meeting room, and we'll get Atra and everyone, and we'll have a discussion.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice civil
Everyone is summoned.
discussion.
Everybody is summoned to the meeting room.
Nice sane talk.
All right.
oh, hot flashes.
All right. So,
Did it
you
go
figure
well,
out-
Con?
did you figure out what the thing was, Adrasai?
The thing? Oh, yes, the thing.
building.
They're building an engine, a really, 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 really big one.
Probably to bring
Well,
dragons back in.
Yes, I think they're going to bring everyone home.
So we need to.
So I guess we have our next target.
Well,
Yes.
once I found some clean robes in the infirmary. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, that's you're part of the meeting.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but on the way to the meeting, I try and find Atra.
Assumedly also on his way to the meeting, since it was
Yeah.
called out.
A short walk down a passageway towards the meeting room. So for him, that was quite a tricky pull there. I am very grateful. It would appear I owe you my life. Not sure what I can do about that right now, but I will certainly look out for an opportunity to repay you. Like I said, if we can assist you, we will.
Right, I will remember it. And I will remind you when the time comes.
I'm sure you
But
shall.
you gave me the opportunity to get closer to my goal. So it seemed logical to keep you around.
Well, I'll go. I can't fault that logic, I guess. I reckon by this point we'd arrived at the meeting room.
Sure. Very simple. Absolutely. And before the meeting takes place, we'll be back next week. Windswift continues. If you don't stay for the after the show review, thank you for watching. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you are not already a subscriber, and the goblin bell so you can be alerted as to when the episodes come out, which is traditionally on a Monday. So look out for that next week. Until then, thanks for watching. Goodbye. All right, the after show review. Let's jump straight into that. I'm going to roll the dice of destiny. Number 6, that's you, Simon. First up. Not much happened in the episode, really, apart from, turning into a chicken.
Dark magics.
I mean, this was your decision. I do not feel any guilt towards the fact that he was a chicken. Yeah.
We shall not discuss the chicken saga.
I was, from Atamantum's point of view, it specifically, I think, in the session or the session before that, Con and Atra specifically spoke about Con offering help for him to get towards where he needed and wants to be. So, and with all the kind of attitudes that the druids give everybody else who want to use their transportation, it seemed like the only kind of way to make sure that that promise could be upheld. Personally, this is more of a ramping up for next time again kind of session. From that kind of point of view, that not much happened. On the points on the Oaken, if that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do. But that really has never been any kind of... I think I made it quite clear from the beginning that Atra isn't really interested in world politics in that kind of circumstance. Like, for once, he never worked for a government because, like, the Cabal are like a pseudo-government. Like, they're let's say the worm in your guts or the virus in your blood rather than like the organism itself. So it doesn't really matter what the organism becomes because there will always be place for criminals, and that's just how societies work. I fear, like, as me as a person fears. I guess Atra sees this rather pragmatic. As for the session itself, I was a little bit surprised on the kind of going back on the thing and reviving Con again just to make him a human again, because I don't think that necessarily would have been a problem, and it kind of just destroyed what I tried to do narratively, which I didn't really enjoy as much, because that just went, and I guess I said, like, just counteracted part of the storytelling. So that's something that I was surprised that happened, and I did not enjoy very much.
Sure. True resurrection requires a soul to be free from...
Yes. No. That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, what do you mean in terms of having him resurrected with the Oaken?
Yep.
All right.
Because it appeared to me that problem was already solved.
As a Thai chicken. I did like the chicken. Adversary?
Yes. As usual, in a crisis or when something bad happens, I think Adversary's reaction is to run around and do as many things as possible and just make sure that everything is dealt with, and that's dealt with, and this person's okay, and that's done, and that's done. And it's something I quite enjoy, just sort of running around doing this, and even if I'm continually a little sort of, I want to do a thing, and I want to do another thing, and I want to do another thing. But it's good, and I think it's getting really interesting about the Oaken's use of the book and stuff like that, which I think is, and I think Adversary is going to sort of go back to their relationship with the books quite soon, now that this big combat is done with and sort of the immediate threat is done with. I was a little sort of not frustrated, and just sort of that the whole thing with Lily possibly being a traitor sort of petered out. But I mean, at some point,
traitor.
Sorry, what?
You want her to be a traitor?
No. The sort of investigation into the possibility, because I mean, in the end, if like information isn't shared, then there's no way to move on with it, and it feels like it's kind of stopped. But honestly, we have a lot to do right now. I'm sure we can deal with it at some point. But no, I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the weirdness with Con, and the sort of there still managed to be some revelations and some magic loot and stuff, which is rare enough. But it feels like we're gearing up, and we're sort of revving up for a big final confrontation, which is a little exciting.
There we go, Tobias.
Well, this was for Jorik. This episode, it was a typical behavior from him, really. This goal-driven personality. We've dealt with Kuphet. There's nothing I can do about Con. It's not my area. I have to find out where we're going next. What are we going to do? So he was just basically busy doing that, just finding out as much information as possible and trying to move forward. So that's really all I have to say about the episode, I think.
Yeah.
It was a good one. Nothing bad, but a lot of prepping and finding out stuff for Jorik.
Correct. All that documentation and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Con, you had a quiet beginning.
Yeah. Just try to have a bit of fun with it, I guess, when opportunity arises, without making it too slapstick. But yeah,
Sure. It is a chicken.
it is a chicken. There's only so much you can do with the chicken. But, I think keeping that can take some of the edge off the seriousness. I mean, like I said, you want to have a bit of comedy. The Oaken, yeah, it's an interesting one. Con is not entirely comfortable with how that's all going.
I can understand. I mean, you're leader of the new order, and now he also wants to be leader of the druids. I mean, it is really a pickle which job description you go for, I suppose.
As if Con can't be leader of everything.
That little voice in the back of his head going, I could fix all the problem. The dangerous dark path that could lead to.
Right.
Yeah. So interesting. And, I think Connor's on a still pretty single-mindedly focused on stopping the plot of the dragons. And so he's kind of this is very disturbing, and I'm going to have to put that there for we're going to have to deal with that, unfortunately, type of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Sophie?
Well, I liked Con as a chicken. And as a tiger. I quite liked that solution. It was quite fun. So, but I'm happy that he's back in human form, even if he's flashing his bits everywhere. I really enjoyed the solution that Simon came up with to bring back Con. It was very inventive. And yes, it's very interesting what the druids are up to. That is a little as Jorik so carefully put it. Dun, 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 dun.
Absolutely.
So I like that aspect, of course. I mean, as far as the cat is concerned, probably going to binge eat to comfort eat a bit. She's going to find this all very confusing, and she's a bit worried about stuff because, as far as she's concerned, Sector 13 is full of unknown things. And we now have a very large engine to destroy, and she needs backup as far as she's concerned. She's squishy, very, very squishy, and she has a bad habit of almost getting killed on several occasions now. So yeah, I mean, the amulet and the cloak will help, but yes, we will see how the next episodes go, because dun dun dun. All
right. Yeah, I also like the way that, Simon, you described that whole ritual. I really thought that was quite visually quite exciting. And poor old Mios, it wasn't Mios. Well, Mios was confused, but I was confused as well when you called for the birds. I genuinely thought it was the druids that you were referring to.
Okay, well.
But yeah, I mean, that to me, I think is just the joy of role play. Where it's like 3 birds in the hole. Wait, what?
Did I say 3? I want to say one of the birds, but it's fine.
I thought I probably misheard, but I thought you said one of the 3 birds.
It is how it turned out, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. So
no, absolutely. But I do find it amusing when one either mishears or the NPCs do something. I had no idea what you wanted to do with the chicken. That's why I went, well, what's a bird that's probably in the hull? Chicken. Okay, that's
true. Well, my first thought was with the ferret we picked up in the Drow kingdoms, but
right.
But then I remembered that Con likes to fly, and assumingly that he and Atra spoke at some point over it. I mean, I don't think that they went in depth about like what's your hobbies, kind of, but like assumingly at least that's something that is very close to his heart. I thought like, well, make it a flying creature at least, so he can have his wish. And then you brought a chicken. I was like, well, I guess it's not a flying bird then.
It's a chicken. Yeah. Anyway,
dinosaur descendant.
And it was quite established that Saket likes to have animals around. So even though we didn't specifically kind of say that we have 1 cow, two swine, and whatever, it's like handy wavy kind of thing. But that was my train of thought.
Yeah.
Turn out funny regardless.
There we go. All right. Thank you all for playing. I do appreciate the game. And thank you for watching. Again, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and the goblin bell as well, so you can be alerted to what happens. From all of us, goodbye.